Ladies and gentlemen of the live stream, that noise you hear in the background is in fact Paul playing Call of Duty.
Yes, it's a close match. It's not good.
Do you ever feel like you're just standing on a bridge that might be on fire?
Explain.
I'm just waiting for this whole system to come crashing down that
I
is
see.
creating this podcast because,
Not unlike a burning platform.
yeah, let me see if it's actually working.
You'll be delighted to know I was defeated. Ew, what happened there?
Hmm.
$25.
I mean, is anybody listening? Can you let me know if the audio is working all right? It should be going out here.
What is this? There's some weird code under your Surface laptop thing. I assume that's a mistake. It's like a cat was walking on your keyboard. I'll just change it.
So here's Paul. This is the conundrum of my life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is saying audio is fine, which is great news, right?
Yep.
This is our lives in a nutshell. I am watching the live stream on this laptop with the volume as loud as it goes, and I cannot hear a thing.
Huh. But they're saying it's okay.
Yeah, Bart says it's fine. Scott says it's fine. Kyle says it's fine. Joey says it's fine. C Nick, C Dove, everyone. I.
Let me look at it.
No.
Wait. Oh, no. Hold on. I don't see it on the homepage, though.
Oh, shoot. Did I not hit publish?
See, and you were worried the first one was going to be all screwed up.
All right, it should now be on the on the front page. Oh, what did I do? So close. All right, let's try out some magic here. That works. That works. Paul, you will be pleased as punch to know that I took that Surface keyboard and threw it across my house, and I now have a wired keyboard here.
That's the only logical outcome for that particular peripheral. It's like, hey, what's this? Uh-oh. There's a Microsoft post about progressive web apps. Hold on.
If I had the Jeopardy theme music and I didn't think we'd get sued, I would happily play that right now.
Let me just see if this says anything meaningful.
They're posting it at 1 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, it's just a short video, but it's okay. I'll take it.
My spidey senses say not.
It's bad news. Yeah, it's we've decided that we're going in a different direction.
Progressive. We're going to go with static web apps. We're going to see how that plays out.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a Japanese sword. All right.
What?
I've been pushing progressive web apps for like a year. You know, Microsoft would just announce we don't really see the value in this.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Hopefully. Hold on to your hard hat here, and let's see if this works.
I have a good feeling about this.
I appreciate your confidence.
Hey, we're on the right side.
Nothing can go right today, folks. Welcome back to First Ring Daily Live, where the fun never really stops. It's just a perpetual thorn in our side, actually.
I just pulled a muscle in my stomach. Jesus.
Didn't you just tweet about how healthy you were, and here you are pulling muscles and laughing? I'm just saying.
Look at my stomach. Sorry.
This is what I work with on a daily basis, especially during work calls. But today's show is brought to you by Cloudberry Lab. Check them out at cloudberrylab.com/FRD to go get a free trial and learn how to protect yourself with better backups. We'll talk about them here in a minute. But we've got Paul there. We've got Brad here. And we've got better transitions today, Paul. Have you noticed that it's not screwing up?
I'm off center, though.
You are. Well, if you remember, if we could go spin back the wheel of time, you complained that you were on the wrong side of the screen. Do you remember this?
I do. Many people complained. This really threw people for a loop.
It really did. And I remembered that was an issue approximately 19, maybe rounded up to 20 seconds before the show started. And so I swapped them. But
so which way do I need to go? This way?
The other way. Because if you think about it, you would have been leaning in, and then it would have looked right. But now you can just sit fully in front of the church curtains.
There we go. How you doing?
Find a way to hardwire up something to this screen. But is this
I can only partially see that image, but it looks like a beautiful outdoor scene that is not being replicated today in any way, shape, or form.
Do you recognize where this is, Paul?
Well, I assume it's Hawaii over by the pool.
Yep.
Oh, is that where we worked that one time when they were cranking music when no one was there?
Yep.
Yes, I remember it fondly.
You can see my headphones here. I was editing video of hands-on with an ARM device, and I was looking for a Surface picture, and surprisingly, I typed in Surface in Google Photos. This is like the craziest thing to me. I typed in Surface, not laptop, not computer, and it pulled this thing up.
It actually recognizes Surface.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Yep. Paul, I believe people have been asking because I've had these things now 24 hours. I will do a proper write-up here at some point. I believe I've made the greatest purchase of 2018 so far.
Okay.
What is that? I am pleased as punched with the Sonos ones. They are they're turning out to be actually much better than I thought. Although I'm going to give you the short take of the post that will be coming. And Paul and I have talked about this all the time. You are either all Sonos or no Sonos. Yeah. Do not plan on buying.
Yeah, don't dabble.
Right. Don't buy two speakers. Don't do anything else.
You can, if you can't afford it, you can buy them over time. But don't think you can have two Sonos speakers over here and then two something else's over here. Right. That's not going to work.
Right. And very much, I'm a very big fan of buy them over time because unless you just have money laying around, feel free to send me some. But they are quite expensive. But it integrated, as you would expect, perfectly with, I don't want to say the Amazon Assistant. The only downfall to this thing is, so I have one I bought two of them. One of them's here in my office, the other one's in the kitchen. The biggest downfall here is that if you scream at it, the response only comes out of the speaker that it heard you from. So it's not like it comes across all of them. But the big benefit and the biggest reason I wanted this, because it didn't work so well plugging into the line in on my Play 5, is that I can now ask the Amazon device to play any song or whatever, and it says, yep, and it reads you the name of the cover, the artist, and then it starts playing, and it's on every speaker in the house. And that is what I wanted, and that is what was delivered.
All right.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not surprised they're good speakers. Yeah. I mean, I have older Sonos ones. Yeah. They could only, and I think they sound great. I mean, I know audiophiles or other people with the more expensive speakers will complain about bass or something, but honestly, I always thought they sounded really punchy.
Yeah, no, they're good. So if you were on the fence and you're in the ecosystem already, highly recommend it. I'm still anxiously awaiting to see how this Google Assistant thing plays out with it, because that's supposed to be coming too.
Yeah,
Although,
I mean that would cause me to rethink Sonos right there. So,
but I would not buy them today thinking it's coming anytime soon, based on the roadmap of how efficiently Sonos.
the one thing I'm well versed in my couple of years of Sonos ownership is how slowly that moves, and how when they eventually do ship something, how terrible it is. So I'll wait for it. I mean, we'll see. I hope it's happening.
The only consolidation or nice thing here is that speakers, if they sound nice today, are going to sound nice for a long time. It's just the software that needs to be there. So, are you still playing Call of Duty?
No, I'm replying to tweets. Multitasking. That's never gone wrong for anybody. I can do two things in my head at once. It sounds stupid, even as you're saying it. You know, it just doesn't. It's kind of hard to say with a straight face.
Yeah, just don't forget to keep breathing, because that would be.
That has happened. You've witnessed that. I often do have that problem.
YouTube typically frowns upon live streaming,
like a death scene.
Yeah, so I
can see that.
We don't want any strikes against our account.
Yeah.
But Paul, this is to be honest, I totally forgot about this, and I had to reread why Mahedi wrote it. Microsoft's new Xbox wireless adapter, the little one, you can now actually buy it. It seems like they announced this thing like 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was probably early fall or maybe even the summer. It was going to come out in time for the holidays, remember? And I think in November-ish they delayed it past 2018 or past 2017. So yeah, it's finally here, and it says in the notes this thing's only $25. Is that true?
That's what I wrote.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, it's a good price. That's really good.
That's what I thought I read.
This is what you want. You know, if you're going to play games on your PC with a Xbox controller, you need this thing, because unless you obviously can hardwire it, that would be good too. But if you don't want to wire, which is what we're used to in the Xbox world, this is going to give you the best performance. You definitely want this and not Bluetooth.
Yeah, fully agree. There's actually a couple games that I have, especially racing games. There's also one flight sim that I play where I actually do use the controller, because mouse and keyboard, while great, racing games I'm already deficient at, would be a polite way to say it. And the controller makes it a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was going to do a really corny joke and open the show by saying, "What's that, Paul?" But
I would have been lost, so it's probably best that you didn't.
Yeah. Fun things here. WhatsApp, if you're a big user of that, which if you're in the United States, the answer is probably no. But if you are outside the United States, the answer is probably yes. That is actually now in the Windows Store, although they did previously have a desktop app. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is just kind of one of those things that's just another little notch in the belt for the Windows Store.
Yep.
But
did we know this was coming, or was this a surprise?
See, that's a very good question.
I wasn't aware of it.
I wasn't either, but the thing is, I don't use WhatsApp at all.
Right.
It's a great messaging platform. I have no malintent against it. I just don't use it. I mean, we have enough of them, and
too many, maybe.
Yeah, there could be a great purging of messaging apps here in the near future, and
I like that notion. Let's drop some flab.
Speaking of dropping flab, Paul, how did your Call of Duty game go right before?
I was defeated soundly.
Have you prestiged yet?
Oh, many times. I'm probably on 7, 6, somewhere in there.
Oh my God. How many? Are there 20 or 10?
Oh, I have no idea. I was, it's funny, on Modern Warfare Remastered, the previous version that I was playing, I think I was on the final prestige. I don't think I ever actually reached it because the new game came out. And I remember at the time, I was like, I'm so close. I should probably go back and try to do that. I don't know. You don't get anything for it, but I don't think I'm ever going to fully prestige this one. It's got to be in the 20s, something like that.
Well, what, you're 7 in at how many months?
Well, that might be an exaggeration. It's somewhere in the 5 to 7 range. I don't pay attention to what number it is. But it's several times I have, yeah.
I've only prestiged, I think, once.
I'm at the point now where, with every Prestige, you can bring back any one item, right? So I have brought back exactly everything I need to play. So, like one of the big issues I had up front was I'm really into cheap kills. So I like to get these bouncing Betty things that basically you plant it in the ground, someone runs into it and it pops up and kills them. I love that kind of thing. So I could be on the other side of the map. You hear the thing make the sound and the guy dies. It's excellent. But you don't get that until like level 37 or 52 or some crazy high number. So once I got that, I was like, that's the first thing I'm bringing back. And you kind of go through it like that. But
to answer a couple quick questions that jumped into the chat room, no, the Sonos One does not have a line in. You have to actually spend about $400 or whatever it is for a Play 5 to get that, which is actually a pretty big downfall and really annoying.
It's inexcusable. That really bothers me.
Yeah. The other thing is, too, still no word on iTunes in the Windows Store, although we do know it's still coming. Walking Cat actually tweeted out the official app package name, but if you go into the store, you still can't find it.
It's got to be imminent. There are so many signs pointing to this. And that's another, speaking of things that were delayed past the end of 2017, right? When you think about it, that was originally supposed to be out last year. It's got to be sometime soon.
And other things that were delayed, also the Cortana integration with the Echo. Still waiting on that. They said it's coming soon. Soon. And
yeah, but is anyone really waiting for that? I mean, it's just like, what's the? No, and I mean that non-cynically. I mean, when it does arrive, the first version especially is going to be so hard to use. It's going to be semi-pointless. It will be just like a demo, like, hey, name of assistant. Use name of other assistant to, it's just it's just going to be stupid.
It's like calling your oldest child to tell them to summon the other child.
Yes. Or telling your one child to go get your other child who's upstairs, and then she yells up the stairs, and, it's like, I could have done that myself. I was looking for a quieter solution to this problem.
This is a banging show today, folks. This is... I don't even know what's going on. We got some travel coming up next week. I actually got a really busy weekend, but
yeah. Speaking of which, we might want to highlight the fact that you and I are going to be out of commission for all day Monday, period, and probably almost all day Tuesday.
Yep.
So I'm trying to. I don't have a lot of free time, and obviously the Super Bowl is Sunday, which is going to eat into stuff, but. I'd like to think I could get a couple of posts together ahead of time, because I don't know what we're going to do. It's just we're going to be gone.
Yeah, Paul and I are both headed to New York City. No secret events or anything. This is a planning meeting. We do this roughly twice a year, give or take. We're not doing a behind the scenes video because there's no actual Microsoft event or anything. But yeah, so if you see Paul and I hanging out on Monday and Tuesday, we are doing this against our will, but it will be in New York City.
Yep.
So, but before we go on here, folks, whoops, I hit the wrong button. There we go. If you're looking for better backups, how to dump your data up to Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, Backblaze, quite literally almost any cloud, and help protect yourself against ransomware, check out Cloudberry Lab, cloudberrylab.com/FRD. And it's basically a better backup solution. You can pick your own cloud, bring your own data, and the best part is as data prices changing in the cloud, you can move your data about to make sure you're paying for what you need, rather than being locked into one provider. Check them out, cloudberrylab.com/FRD for a free trial and to learn more. Speaking of learning more, Paul, it seems like the Surface narrative continues here. For those who are unaware, I'll give a quick highlight, and I'm sure Paul has an opinion on this. That would be unlike him if he didn't. But there is a new Surface laptop model. It is a Core M3, 128 gigabytes of storage, 4 gigs of RAM, $799, and a new Surface Book 2 starting at $1199 with an i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and 128 gigs of storage. Paul, how does this make you feel deep down?
I don't like to hear about Core M3. I think anyone would agree that Surface products are overpriced, and whether or not you agree with that, they are not selling in great numbers, so they need to do something. So I think introducing lower-end offerings is a reasonable thing to do. Honestly, what I'd rather see is a Core i5 at that price, and But whatever, they're taking steps. I mean, we don't know what the long-term ramifications of this are going to be. I think there are going to be some changes at Surface this year with regards to product strategy and releases and so forth. But short-term, what can they do? They can cut prices, and I think the margins on those things are not good enough to cut prices on the existing versions, so they're going for lower cost components.
Yeah, and I think the bigger sort of story here, if you will, is that these products weren't announced when they initially launched the device, which means they had a change, I don't know if change in strategy, but a change in heart about what should be the low end of these products. Because at one point, they sat down and said, you know what, it's going to be a Core i5 or Core i7 or whatever. Yeah. And now they are going back and they're saying, well, you know what, we could actually go with an M3 or do whatever. And
I mean, I think the timing on this is purposeful, right? Yep. Microsoft released their earnings Wednesday. And then within roughly 24 hours, they released new versions of these two products that, frankly, I think they expected to sell better than they did. And for whatever it's worth, you know, when Surface Book 2 was first announced, there was that one outlier model that was using like a previous generation of the Core i5 chip, and I think it was 8 gigs of RAM and 256 on the storage. So now there are two versions that have that older chip, but honestly, that version is not necessarily terrible, right? So I think what's the pricing on that? $11.99, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Honestly, for a device like Surface Pro, for a premium laptop, $11.99, 8 gigs, 128 gigs of storage with that screen, that's not terrible, you know? Surface Book has always been very overpriced. I mean, in that context, it's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the thing that's not there is that other GPU, but
yes, right. I'm sorry, right. That was the other major difference. Yep. Yeah, it's the only one that didn't have the GPU. But again, you know, perfect typing experience, great trackpad, beautiful screen. I mean, it's just right size 3x2, pixel sense, high DPI display. And you know, for those people who want it, you can take off that clipboard thing, use it like a tablet. And you have to buy the pen. You don't get the pen for free, but it's available if that's what you want. And you know, again, within the context of Surface Book, which has always been crazy expensive, I like that you can get one for a reasonable kind of in air quotes, but a reasonable price.
Yeah. One of these things is we don't really know how this is going to impact sales or anything else until the quarter ends. Yep. And Microsoft, I don't think in the history of anything ever has actually broken out SKUs for us because that would be too convenient and they would. Okay.
No, but so the one thing we can look at is that ad duplex usage data, right? And you know, this is machines in use, and so over time it becomes less and less relevant unless Microsoft ships new devices. But what's interesting about say Surface Book 2, Surface Laptop, the new Surface Pro, is that those usage numbers are absolute because they've only been in the market for less than a year and they're all running Windows 10. So it's not like there are other versions of them out somewhere else. And so when you see, I don't know these numbers off the top of my head. I went back and looked to see when the most recent numbers for those devices were, and it was in November. And, you know, you can see statistics in there that are kind of interesting. For example, Surface Pro, the new version, has outsold Surface Laptop by almost 500%, right? 5 times as many units. We know that because the usage share of that device is 5 times, not quite 5 times, but like 4.5 times higher than that of Surface Laptop. Those devices are both new. That's all those devices, you know, that's representative. And that's fascinating to me, right? I really expected Surface Laptop is kind of more of a mainstream kind of device to significantly outsell Surface Pro, and it's not happening.
I got nothing. I agree. It's I'm curious to see too the Surface Pro with LTE though, although that was out last quarter, so that's really not.
I mean, that's not going to. Yeah, you're never going to see that in anything. It's a very kind of niche-y business class device. Surface Book 2 as well. The usage among Surface devices, I think in November was 0.2%. You know, so of the 30 million-ish they've sold altogether. Whatever that number is today. Not too many. You know, because it's brand new, but it's also very expensive. So if you look at Surface Book, I don't know the number, but it's a low number. It's They're expensive and they're kind of niche-y. And Microsoft, frankly, you know, for being the company that they are as a PC maker, they're kind of a niche boutique hardware company, right? They don't really sell a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, somebody said an interesting comment. I read it somewhere on the internet. Actually, it was actually on Thurrott somewhere. They said, you know what? Don't buy your hardware from Microsoft. Buy your software from Microsoft. Buy your hardware from a hardware vendor. Because people argue that Microsoft really isn't a hardware vendor. They said go HP, Dell, or whatever because they care. But take it for what you will.
I don't look. You agree? I know because you'll probably bring that exact laptop with you when you come to New York, and I'll probably bring my Surface Book 2 as well. We love these things, and people who own them love them, and there's a reason. I mean, they are really nice. And I mentioned the typing and the trackpad and the screen and all that stuff. There's something about the combination of all that stuff that is special. There's no doubt about it. They work really well. But like you said, HP, Dell, Lenovo, Acer, Asus, whoever, these companies have been making PC hardware for a long, long time. They are way more experienced at it. And I don't think they get enough credit for the designs that they make and the innovations that they put in their products. And, Microsoft, of course, is kind of lagging behind in some key areas like USB-C and Thunderbolt 3 support.
Yep. Jumping into the comments, because on Friday, that's one of the things we do, is we take a look back at some of the comments. And Paul, your earnings post, Tremblay Max wrote, he said, Microsoft should move faster with the Surface line. They don't need to change the form factor and reinvent every time, but they need to use the new Intel CPUs faster when they become available. Paul, do you remember what happened last time Microsoft jumped on Intel chips really early?
Yeah, it didn't go well. Well, that said, I don't think anyone would disagree with his comment, right? Especially people who care about Surface and want it to succeed or whatever. It's notable that all those PC makers I just mentioned did exactly what he's recommending, right? We have a product in the market. We're going to quietly swap out the dual-core previous gen CPU and put in a quad-core new generation CPU. In some cases, we're going to do it with the version that has that little AMD graphics card on it. And it's going to sell you the same thing again, but it's way better. And I couldn't agree with that more. And I think this ties back to that boutique PC maker thing. I don't believe that they're capable of revving like that. I just don't think they have the volume to justify the manufacturing costs, et cetera, or whatever research has to go into that. And you can see that in the way they release products, right? I mean, here we are. What's the first Surface device came out? 2012. So 5+ years into this, they announced Surface Book 2 whenever they announced Surface Book 2 a couple months ago, and released it in the United States only. That's how they did it. They released Surface Laptop over the summer with colors, but only for certain configurations at first. And those situations change over time because as they kind of satisfy the demand for the initial offering, they can start adding the colors in the case of Surface Laptop, or adding countries in the case of Surface Book 2, which is what's happening now. I just never seem to make that leap, to hey, it's out. And when we say that, we mean everywhere, and we mean in every color for everybody who wants it. They just never seem to be able to rise to that challenge.
Yep. I will point out though that there is an instance of when they did adopt chips early. If you remember the Cherry Trail with Surface 3, the very last gen, they were the first company to ship one, and it went fine. So, on a probability...
There's precedence, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're 50-50 on whether or not it completely tanks the product or it's fine. So,
so if you want to ship a total piece of crap, they can do that great. Is that what you mean? It's just crazy. That's too bad.
The other comment comes from Arun Phillips. I believe is how you pronounce that. He's talking about WhatsApp in the Windows Store, and I actually love this comment. He says, the full fat thick client on whatsapp.com/downloads is 133 megabytes setup files, and the store version weighs in at 400 megabytes.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, God. We can just add this to the list of many ways in which UWP is superior.
Yes.
It must be better. It's bigger.
Yep. Yep. More features maybe or not. But yeah. More bits, I guess.
Padding is, what is that? Like container padding?
Yeah.
Has anyone done a
container padding?
It's like, well, I mean, think about it. Like, the thing is, we're basically talking about a zip file here. Like, I mean, I know this is probably, there's a manifest in there. It's an XML file. It probably weighs 0.0001K or something. Like, it's tiny. Why would it add size? Like that much size?
That I do not know, but apparently my mic volume is lower than yours. I bet we can fix that.
Yeah.
But just doing that. Yep.
I don't have one of those. Oh, yeah, it's over there. It's on a...
I was about to say, just one of the many ways I'm superior to Paul.
More knobs. More of a knob? Anybody? No.
Jesus. You got anything else for today, Paul?
I'm going to be super busy today and all through the weekend. And then, again, we should remind people we will not be available on Monday at all. Yep. It's going to be terrible. Which
probably means there's some big Microsoft news happening Monday or Tuesday. That's typically how these things work.
Yeah. So I'll be sitting in this chair working for the duration pretty much. How about you?
Well, thanks for asking, Paul. Actually, tomorrow is the father-daughter dance at my daughter's school, so I'm doing that. Mm-hmm. And, yep. That's it.
I will not be doing that with my daughter, mostly because she's sick, and we now wave to each other when she goes to bed because I'm going to New York on Monday, and I don't want to be sick.
Well, we appreciate that since I will be within the vicinity of you, and if you get me sick, I will...
Oh, you can bring it right back to my daughter, because if it happens, ultimately we have to go to the source of this infection, which is the carrier pigeon that is my daughter, who comes home from what is apparently a sick ward with 3,000 kids in it.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what's going on over there.
And also, a gentle reminder to everybody that the Eagles will be winning the Super Bowl this weekend, so enjoy that. That will be fun.
As I told my neighbors, who are all irritatingly Eagles fans, because I live in Pennsylvania near Philadelphia, what a great move that was. I'm at peace with this. 5-3, 6-2. It's still been a good run.
I don't think anybody disagrees as Tom Brady.
Statistically speaking, he has been to the Super Bowl every other year of his active career.
Which is
like
amazing.
When he's been the starting quarterback. Literally 50%.
I'm still convinced, until proven otherwise, that he is in fact a robot. And he's actually probably, I don't know, like Google. We're going to find out he's like Google AI on the inside. And
I keep waiting for Bill Belichick to rip off his robot face mask and just fall down on the floor in a heap of metal and wires.
The secret play by the Eagles is called an EMP.
Yeah, exactly. They just like us.
Oh, gosh. All right, folks, we'll wrap it up here today. Today's show is brought to you by Cloudberry Lab. Check them out at cloudberrylab.com/FRD to learn more about their backup solutions and how you can bring your own cloud and store your own data anywhere. That does it for Dave. We'll catch you back here next time, although it would be a little bit different because Paul and I will probably be sitting in front of in a room that is not our homes, unfortunately. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. All right. Hopefully that recorded better than yesterday. And, yep.
There's no real way to see this.
See what?
My prestige level.
Oh.
I could see the symbol, but I don't really know what it means.
Is there like
I'm actually 5 levels away from prestiging again. Well, you used to do this, like you would go into this, I think you would go into barracks or whatever, and they don't have that anymore, so I have to go to headquarters and walk around like a jerk. I know, it's goofy how they did this. Anyway, I don't know what prestige I am.
Well, good. I got nothing else.
All right. Talk to you later.